Alright, no surprises before we start all this.
I already started the video. What we're doing is power chords. So, do you know what a power chord is?
I can play one.
Alright. That's right.
Why do you like Metallica so much?
I don't like them more than any other band. They're good. They're not as good as the Monkees.
The what?
I don't know. Play an E power chord. Okay, good. Do you know why that's an E power chord?
Can you explain again?
I can. And a power chord is just a very simple chord that is a pretty neutral chord in that it doesn't have a major or a minor third or a major or minor seventh in it. So it's not really major or minor. It's just got a 1 on the scale degree, the first note, the root note, and it's got a fifth. So it's a 1 and a fifth interval, and then the 1 is repeated oftentimes twice. So if you play your open E power chord, I'll demonstrate. So in this power chord, you've got your open E here. That's the root note, which is what makes this an E power chord. And 1/5 interval above that, you're playing a B right here. And then above that, you have another E. So you've got 2 E's and a B in this chord. And that's what makes it an E power chord. And every power chord is like that. So if you play another one, and I'll dissect it for you. Good. That's a C power chord because your low note here, this is your root note, is a C. Alright? And then you have a G right here, which is a 5th above. Or a 4th below, you have a G too. We'll get into flipping intervals around later. But you have your C, then you have a G, which is a 5th above C, and then you have another C above that. So you've got C, you've got G, and you've got C again. And you can move that shape. That's the basic shape of a power chord. Go back. With any power chord that has a root note on either the E or the A string, the shape doesn't change. The only place where the fingering changes is if you do an open string. Go back to the open. Right, so now the fingering changed, but it's still that same shape because, remember how I showed you before, play a power chord, play a G power chord. Can you do that one? So this is your G note, so that would be your first note.
That one there?
No, that's a B.
Okay.
So put your first finger on the 3rd fret of the E string. Right. And that is a G power chord because your first note's a G, so play that. Okay, now play the E power chord, but do it, slide all the way back. Just come all the way back. All the way back to where this finger comes off. There you go.
Okay.
Do you see how the shape's the same?
Yeah.
That is what I meant by that.
That's just a waste when you could just do that, I guess.
Right,
Like
but I just
fingers.
wanted to illustrate that the shape is technically the same. Now there is something that changes the shape. Something that changes the shape that's inherent to the guitar, the way the guitar is tuned. And that is if you go above the A string and you have your root note on the D string, the shape no longer works, and I'll show you. Hear that? It's because the one string is tuned instead of in 1/4 higher. It's tuned a major third higher. So you actually have to change the shape a little bit by bringing your pinky out 1 fret. So it changes just a hair. Just one note's different. Almost. Play your power chord. Play your C power chord again, the one we went over before.
That one?
Alright, now move everything up 1 string.
Even the index finger?
Yep, move everything up 1 string. No, that's 1 fret. 1 string.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, jump upward. Okay, move that finger up too. Now you have to move this pinky out 1 fret to make it work. See, because now...
Stretch.
Yeah, because now you're playing an F power chord. So this note's an F. Alright, this note. And then your next F is here. You see how that's an F?
Yeah.
See, if you were playing it the other way, that would have been an E.
So it wouldn't make sense. Like, it just wouldn't sound right.
It wouldn't sound right. All right, so let's go one more time over the power chord shapes. Let's do an open E power chord where the fingering's a little bit different. A little bit different. All right, now let's do a power chord at a different area. Do the G power chord again. You remember that? It's at the 3rd fret on the E string. Just like this.
That one?
Yes. Good. Now let's do one with the root note on the A string. So 1 string up. Let's do the C power chord. That's just 1 string up from where you are. You're here.
Okay.
You're gonna go up to here.
There.
Exactly.
One thing that I want to improve every time I look at the videos, I feel like my right hand, it just looks very stiff. Like everything I do is super stiff. I don't know if it just comes with time, getting more comfortable, or what.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So
like everything's very robotic. Like,
everything's
you'll sit
very
down and it's very.
From my point of view, everything you do is very robotic.
Yeah.
But it just comes from repetition. You get more comfortable as you go.
Yeah.
And when you just like the open chords that we learned before. You could put rhythms together with those chords. The same can be said of power chords. And I happen to know that you're working on Kryptonite by 3 Doors Down. And that has a power chord rhythm that you're just now getting into. I won't ask you to play it because you just kind of looked at it. But it's a... That's all power chords. And you mentioned Metallica earlier. All Metallica... not all Metallica, but Metallica's a lot of their rhythms. It's a lot of power chords.
Yeah.
We're going to that one. Power chords. So you're going to be working through Kryptonite. And you're going to hit that when you come to the chorus. As of so far, you've been doing the intro part. Do you feel comfortable at all playing that?
I think we just change that though, I think that's... Oh, then there's the other part, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not actually... I haven't really played that song a whole lot, so I can't remember if he does that, and then every, like, 4th time he does a...
Yeah, it's 3 times...
And then he does that,
yeah,
right? Okay.
And then he does it.
So it's my 3rd time doing it this way.
Yeah.
Right, so, okay, so it's kind of like the end of the bar, and he does it 4 bars, and then the 4th bar he does the opposite one. So you're playing that, you're pretty well. One thing I'm noticing with you're playing that is that you're, and this might be with confidence, is that you're playing everything really quiet. You're just...
Well, I notice a lot of the time I do the opposite, so I might be...
Yeah, you should play it. You should play it with the appropriate amount of pick attack.
Yeah.
Right now, you're doing it very light.
I think it's confidence too, for sure.
Yeah. So, like, that'll come a time you'll. Your pick attack will become stronger because you're confident in playing the song. But yeah, I think the confidence will increase. And you'll be playing out. It'd be like the same thing like if you're nervous to like sing or something like that. You sing real quiet, and it doesn't sound good because you're singing real quiet. But you don't have the confidence to sing loud, which you know would sound good. So it's a catch-22. It's a vicious cycle.
Well, I think you're right. I was doing that because if I were to mess up and it sounds like, you know what I mean, it'd be really loud. But if I do it like, okay, it's not that bad.
maybe they won't notice if I'm not playing real loud. Like I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you say like they're not gonna know I'm fucked up.
Well, I mean they'll hear it, but it won't be as like in their
like you're saying like the mess up will be more pronounced.
Yeah.
Like not only will if you're playing loud and proud, not only will that be more pronounced, but also the mess ups will be more apparent. I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, you have to play with proper technique. Sometimes stuff calls for real quiet.
I really want to like get rid of that stiffness though, because when I look at myself in these videos, it really bothers me. Like just seeing how like
He's so robotic.
Tense. I just get tense.
Well, step one is accomplished. You pinpointed it. Step 2 is washing it off.
Yeah.
I think I'm quoting Dan Aykroyd from something. I don't know what.
I don't know.
I think somebody. Great, you pinpointed it. Step 2 is washing it off. Either way, it applies here. Step 1, you've noticed the problem. Step 2 is rectifying it. So now that you've noticed that, now you can work on it. Like you're aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
You feel a little stiff, or you see the video, it looks a little stiff. So you're learning from the playback, watching yourself.
And this, I have to like, oh, what am I doing? Like, really?
Yeah, well, you're spending because you're just learning guitar. You are spending a lot of time hunched over, looking, and that is a posture thing because you can see it just fine from up here. But if I'm sitting all the way up, but you do kind of have the tendency when you're first starting to get in real close.
But it's normal then, right? I mean.
It's normal, but you should still try
to.
You should try to fight against it, especially. Yeah. There's times where I get real tired of playing guitar the whole day. I'm like,
that's different.
A solo happens, like, or I'm trying to work on. I know when I was working on the Mr. Crowley solo, like this part.
Yeah.
Like that took a little while to work out, and like I would sit at the computer for like, periods of time. I don't know how time works with that. Because sometimes I feel like I've been there for an hour, but I look at it, it's really only been like 12 minutes. But because I was so focused, it took a long time.
Yeah.
Or it felt like a long time. And to get that solo right, or to get that part right, I did notice that I got in like that. Because it wasn't comfortable after a while. I could feel the stress in my neck and back. Well, I think if I backed up, I could have probably learned it just as well. But it was a natural thing to try to get a closer look. You understand?
Yeah, it gives you confidence, like feeling like you're taking a good look at your fingers and everything. Or so you don't miss any notes.
Yeah, I think it's normal, but you should still strive not to do it. So I do think that that's a natural kind of tendency to get in close to it. When I do math, I do the same thing. As I'm working on it, I might be sitting up working on math, and I might find myself in there real close again. Like, why am I don't know. It just happens whenever you're focused. You kind of draw in. You draw in because you're focused on what you're doing and you're getting a closer look. Yeah. And when I think you'll find that when you play something that you've learned and your confidence is there, that you're not going to do that. You're not. You're just not. It's not comfortable. Number one.
Yeah, just putting more time.
It's only happening when you're intently focused on something, which is a lot right now, because you've been playing guitar for a month and a week. Or whatever it is. Episode 6, we're pretty early on in this still. The whole purpose of this channel is to see what happens in a year's time. So, what I would say is, if you find yourself out there doing it, tell us in the comments below. If you find yourself getting in, and also if you have any recommendations of what he could do to feel more loose and less robotic, then we're open to that. I would love to hear. If you solved that problem for yourself, what did you do? If you're a guitar teacher, what did you do to help your students? Tell us. That's an episode, guys. Power chords. Come back for week 7 when we talk about something. Palm muting, perhaps. Tell us below if you know what we should do next week. I think it might be palm muting because that goes so well.
Yeah.
With the power chords. All right.